Today we're going to be installing this fuse box relay holder. This one right here on this 2007 Chevy Colorado Extreme. So if you guys seen the first video on this truck, we showed you guys that this one has power seats from, I believe it's a HHR, also the center console and all that. So this is ran to the fuse box in the engine bay, and it also has a sunroof. But we wanted to clean up the wiring a little bit, so we ordered this on Amazon. It was like 16 bucks. It's pretty cool because you got two relays and you got 6 fuses. So you could run one relay if you like, or you could run both of them. These are the runs. So this is for the second relay, these two blue ones and this one. This power from the relay and ignition to the relay to turn it on, but we're not going to be using that. We're just going to be using relay number 1, and that run is going to go to our electric fans. As you guys know, we put an electric fan on this truck. The white one is going to go to ignition, and then these two blue ones, one's going to be for the sunroof and one's going to be for the electric seats. And then you have constant power and ground. This thing was like 17 bucks. It was like 16 something, so that's not bad. And it has the diagram of how to wire it. So we're gonna find the place to put it here in the engine bay. So ignore this right now. This is just because we had the electric fan directly to the battery, so it would stay on even after you turned off the truck until the sensor cooled down. It would turn off. So now we did this little messy wiring just to get it on the relay real quick to be able to turn it off as soon as the ignition was off. So I'm thinking we're gonna put the relay like right here. We're gonna make a little aluminum bracket and install it somewhere around here, so that way we can run power directly over here. We're just gonna pull it out from this little braided loom to make a shorter run and run it this way to power, and then ground, we'll probably just ground it to the engine block. I think that'll be one of the best ways to ground it right now. And then that way we could have the rest of the cables, well, the relay cable, I mean for the electric fan, is also going to run down, so we could just have a short run to this, and then the rest of the cables are going to be out this way like that, so we could have the sunroof and the seat power coming this way. So this cable right here, I guess they spliced it somewhere inside the cab to this power cord, and then one is run directly to this constant power, and the sunroof was on this fuse tab. So we use this fuse tab for the relay for the electric fan, and then the sunroof we rerouted it to this for now. But now since we have this and we're going to install this here, we're going to cancel this cable, and this cable, and we could put that cover back on. We're going to cancel this cable and pretty much clean up this mess. We still have to make a little bracket for the relays for the Volvo fan. But yeah, so for now I'm gonna get to cutting the aluminum bracket, and hopefully we're able to fit this right here. It's gonna be a tight fit, but it's gonna look cool. This is what I came up with so far. I'm gonna cut this out, and then I left this little spot right here because I want to zip tie the cable to that. And then we're gonna bolt it here and bolt it here, and then this side right here, which I need to straighten out, but this side's gonna be bent, so we could bolt it up to the alternator bracket. Obviously we're gonna cut it a little shorter, but this is the idea that I have so far. Let's see if it's gonna work. So this is the bracket I came up with. For now I'm using self-tappers, but I'm gonna end up putting it here, hopefully using those 2 mounting bolts right there. It has a little bit of space, so we could kind of adjust to where we need it. I'm able to break these 13 millimeters loose. Kind of tight right here because of the power steering pump, but I think it should come off. I'll end up putting this cover back on that I just removed in order to get to these bolts, so I can see exactly where I need to put the bracket so it could clear. So this is the bracket. Now I'm just gonna put the bracket that I made on there, and then hopefully I'm able to get exactly where I need it. I don't want it to come in contact with this cover. I don't think I should, but you never know. So I could do it like right there, somewhere right there. I think that's perfect. Clears the AC line and everything. Just get a marker real quick so I could draw a line on the bracket, and then once that line is made, I could just trace the holes over. So I could trace these over right here. We're letting the bracket dry. We shot it with some paint. So now I'm gonna remove this heat shrink right here so I could pull some cables out. The power is gonna run to the side, like that way. So it's not gonna come out through this bundle of wires. And also the ground, we're gonna reroute it, and the power for the first relay. I was gonna go to the electric fence. So we want that to the side. We're gonna route those differently. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this zip tie and cut this heat shrink. This is what it's looking like. I found these screws right there, so I decided just to put them on here. And then I ran the power to the side. I cut a little hole right there, drilled that little hole actually, put some braided loom, and then the ground cable was underneath, just so we could ground it to either the body or I don't know, something close to the battery. And then we zip tied these wires to the side. So we have the ones that we're going to use ready to go. This one's going to go to the fan, this one's going to go to the key ignition, and these are going to go sunroof and seats. So this is what it's looking like. So you can see that I left the power here just so we could run the cables to this stud right here, and then the ground, I'm just gonna run it down there with the self tapper to the body, clean it up real good. Then we have the cables over here. We're just gonna use this tap fuse to get power to the relay when the switch is on. Our leads for the seat and the sunroof are right there, and the only one that's gonna be not messy but out of the way over here to the right is gonna be the one for the relay. I was thinking of leaving that one down here, but it was just gonna be too many cables sticking out of everywhere on the box. So that's what it's gonna look like once everything is said and done, pretty much. Doesn't look too bad, I think. Obviously with the other cover on here, like this, like that. So this power cable is going to run down a little bit and up into the fuse box. As you can see, it has the plastic is down there, so it has to go up, I mean down and up. So it's going to have to be like this. I might give it a little slack, so I might leave it as it is, not cut much. Just put one of those ring terminals and put it right there. It's gonna look pretty cool like that. And then on the ground, I have to work on the ground next. Start wiring everything up. Before I mount the relay box, I'm gonna try to make a bracket for this relay pack for the fan. So I'm trying to make these tabs go through the top so they could kind of slide in here on the sides, and then bend the front so it won't come off. That's the plan. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try to make it happen. So this is the little relay fan bracket. As you can see, the front, we kind of bent it so it won't go forward, or even if it does, it won't come off. It's just slid in here to the sides. It's a 3-inch bracket, and then we cut the slot right 1 inch off of each side to be able to slide it in. Now we're going to use some self tappers to attach it to the fan shroud. Alright, so I got the electric fan wiring tucked away under this. We just got the ground cable coming up to this bolt, and then we have these wires right here already wired up. This one goes to the fan. Like I said, this one we already got into the fuse tap. We just got to cut out a little hole on this side, and that's gonna be able to clear the fuse tap. So that's almost done. We got the power ran. and we're about to ground this whole box to that right there, and then we'll test it, turn it on, see if the fans kick on, and then after that we'll do the runs for the sunroof and the power seats. Now we're done in the engine bay. We made the relay bracket for the Volvo fans. Have you guys seen the installation of this 2-speed Volvo fan? You guys seen that we just had this dangling down there? We cleaned up the wiring. We tucked away the harness for the temperature switch. Covers back on. We had to do this cutout for the fuse tap. Now the only cables that we have to work on are the ones inside the cab. We have to trace these back to the interior, chop this off, and then we're gonna pull these cables back in and run two new cables so that we could tap into these 2 blue cables right here. But for now, I'm gonna test the 2-speed fan. Hopefully it turns on. If everything is done right, it should turn on. Now that I'm seeing this diagram, I think I'm wrong. So I think these two, the 87s, are gonna be with ignition, key ignition or switch. Whenever you turn it on, these will have power. All these I think should be hot at all times, because I remember the power wire was daisy chained to all these fuses to the 12-volt. So the seats are gonna be connected to one of the fuses, and then the sunroof is going to be to one of the relays, and the fans are also going to be connected to one of the relays. The fans are going to be to relay number 1, and the sunroof is going to be to relay number 2. We're waiting on this thing to turn on. Hopefully the fans turn on so we can know we did it right. We were under the dash, and we saw where the power runs go to. One of them comes down here, and the other one is up here in the pillar. So we're gonna do that tomorrow. I have to take off the kick panel, this little trim right here, in order to get to the one for the seats. We're gonna run one new wire from here to the front, and then oh, there you go, and then one new wire to the sunroof. If we wired it right, and if what we think we did is the way we think we should have it, then this thing should turn off when the key is off, the fan is off. So that's why the yellow ones are hot. Now we're just gonna join these two together to turn on the second relay, so that the yellow wire is hot when the key is on for the sunroof. These blue ones are all going to be hot at all time, so these are just going to be ran off of anything that needs 12 volts all the time. The seats, I guess we're just going to leave them like that, with the ignition, with the hot wire straight to the seats, so you could always move them, adjust them. But this one, we're just gonna, the sunroof is just going to be with the ignition on, because we don't want to be able to open it at all times. This is what it's looking like though. I think it came out pretty cool. Small aftermarket relay box and the big fuse box here on the side. It just has a little cut right there for that fuse tap. So last night we got the cable through the firewall. Now we're just gonna put it all the way through. So what we did was we crimped it to the existing cable, and then we just pulled this older cable through, and that brought our new cable through the firewall like that. And now we just gotta route our cables where they go. I'm just gonna pull them. It's kind of hard to show you guys, but The previous owner drilled a little hole right there, and it'd be nice if we would have had like a little grommet to save, well, to protect the new cable, but just gonna run it like that for now. Now I have to peel off this little sleeve on the cable. This is a vacuum cable. We use this when we do like long runs for whatever we need. It's like a 14 gauge cable, and that's what it has for the sunroof. So we're just gonna leave it like that. We have all the trims put back. The seats work with the ignition closed. Now let's see if the sunroof works. Like I said, the sunroof doesn't work, and it should work with the ignition open. There you go. That's the cable that we pulled off from the previous wiring. This is what it's looking like in the engine bay. We just have that little cable ran to the side. That's what's holding our power for the sunroof and the seats. Now we have 3 more hot leads right here. These 3. We want to, oh actually, yeah, 3. We want to wire anything that would have constant power all the time. And that's what it looks like all said and done. Like I said, this thing was 16 something on Amazon. Kind of hard to get one side off, but not going anywhere. There's our relay bracket that we made. We could have spray painted it, but I don't know, I think aluminum is cool. Just I wish I would have mounted this before mounting the fan shroud. Cleaned up the cables a lot though. Could have been a little neater, but it is what it is. We're gonna leave it like that. We're finally done with the engine bay and the wiring inside the cab. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at _OXC Films. I will leave that in the description down below, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.